Stop. It's going to be 8 different sets. And what we're going to try to do is, again, it's going to be all about hips and feet. Well, hopefully somebody will show up and then just tell me when it comes on. 8 different sets of drills that we're going to try to do different things with their hips and their feet. And one of the things we're going to try to do is we're going to try to make sure that they get tired. But one of the things I want you to understand is this is not about killing kids as far as running them so hard they're just trying to finish. One of the things I instruct my coaches to do is do this. What you want to do is you want to get up there, okay? And when you see them tired, I want them to go hard. I don't want them to just make it through. If you've got to give them a minute rest, when we do the next drill, I want them to go. I want them to learn how to do things because that's what's going to happen in a practice. If you make it so hard they can't make it, then they start not doing as hard and they're not practicing when they need to. Then, just like a defense, you don't get them running the ball the way they need to. You don't get them to do the things they need to do as far as how you want them to have intensity, have accountability, think on their own. So one of the things we want to do is we want to teach the drill, okay? And I might have to walk out here in front. That'd be interesting anyway. Me doing it. Maybe we'll have to have Haverty. I had to get a Texas Tech guy here to show you the drill. Will this beep if I go out there? All right. Come on, Haverty. You got to be able to do this on the run. One of the things we're going to do is when we start bags, and this is kind of a unique thing, we're going to have 2 lines of bags, 5 of them, and then we're going to have a 10-yard space between there and there, but at 10 to 15, then we're going to have another set of bags. And you're going to say, why do you have that space? Okay? Never in football do you ever do it to where you just run over a bag and then you sprint 5 yards. You're going to have to get out of traffic. You're going to have to do things, and then you're going to have to turn. You're going to have to get somewhere. Then you're going to have to be able to sink your hips, control your body again, and get down. And one of the things we're going to do all the way through the bags is we're going to have coaches standing there giving them numbers, just like you do. I want them to be able to think. I want them to be able to keep their eyes up, okay? I don't care how fast they go through it at the beginning. I don't want them to touch a bag, okay? I want them to be controlled. I believe people that don't do things when they play football, they do it out of control, they're not any good to me. Because they're doing 10 things bad compared to 2 good things right. They're getting you beat, they're hurting you. So one of the things that we're going to try to do, so we're going to be doing where we're running through the bags, so we're going to run through as we're going, and then when they get to that open space, they're going to burst. It is not a rest place. Okay, and I apologize if you guys would like this. What I'll do is we'll make sure we get a tape sent to you because that's what we do. Any of the things we've had up here, as you know how I do it, if you want it, Coach Haverty here, which, by the way, he was a really good wide receiver at Texas Tech. You know, we tried to steal him away here. Tell you what, we moved him on the defensive side of the ball just to show you how stupid I am. Not only was he a good player, but we don't even use his strengths. We moved him to defense. But we're going to run through the bags. You're going to do it, so we're going to go down and back. The next drill we're going to do is we're going to call them crossovers. Now, one of the things we're going to talk to our kids about is, you know, when we watched them do it at Colorado, one of the things they did is the kids, when they went through it, it was just a conditioning drill. They stood straight up and down as they went through the bags. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to get down, we're going to make them get down here, and we're going to make them cross over, and that's when we're going to start giving them numbers. A coach is standing there. There's 2 lines going. Now, you got to remember, we run in skill, we run in stand-up, and then when we run in big guys. And while we go at big guys at the end of the game, usually when you get in the squats and the heavier lifts, they take longer to be able to get their lifts done. Okay? But he's standing there. When they get to that open step and I'm crossing over, I get to that open space, I'm going to sprint. And then when I get to that other bag, and here I come to that other bag, I've got to be able to sink my hips down again, and I've got to be able to get over. It's no different. I'm a secondary player. I come up, I see the pitch happen, but where do I have to get my eyes? My eyes have to go to the lead blocker that's going to try to cut me. I'm telling you, if you want to teach any kids anything about college football or high school football, anything else, you need to teach them about eyes. Because eyes get you in trouble more than anything else, besides being a chicken. I mean, you're not going to be physical. You're not going to be physical. After physical, then you better teach them eyes, and I don't care who it is. Whether it be a quarterback, whether it be the tailback with vision. You know, and some of the things some of those kids do, we don't coach. We take credit for it. I mean, I was a hell of a lot better head coach that one year, that one game I coached LT than I've been ever since when it came to tailbacks. And the guy was pretty good, and I don't know how he did some of the things he did. But we're going to get through this. We're going to go down. Then we're going to go through our steps, and we're going to take 2 feet in. Again, we're trying to do it to where we move our feet. We're going to go down. We're going to go back. We're going to do what we call power zigzag, where we're going to power through. Now, the important thing about this is when we go forward, we're going to go fast. Again, we want to keep control. When we're sprinting up, we get to the front of the bag because we're going to go through the bags. I don't care if they're a punter. One of the things, if you want to help kids with hamstrings, you want to help kids with injuries, groins, and everything else, you've got to work the negative muscle. So one of the things we do is we're going to get them, and we're going to make kids backpedal all the time. We go back into a backpedal, but when they get back here, just like you guys in track do, because we do a speed school, arms control the legs. So one of the things we're going to talk about is throwing the hammer, and we go back over. When we go forward, I don't want to see this. You go slow enough that I don't care if it's an offensive lineman, I don't care if it's a defensive lineman, I don't care if it's a DB or it's a wide receiver. You go slow enough that you are awareness, you don't hit a bag, and you get here, and then when you come forward, we're going to throw the hammer, we're going to throw our arms or our gut, we're going to come over the top of that bag, and then we're going to get back. We're going to go through it. When they hit the last bag, what are they going to do? They're going to sprint. Again, why is that important to me? Because I'll be honest with you, fellas, I think it's just one of the secrets to our success on defense. You give me any great defensive coach that's sitting in this crowd right here, I guarantee they have a drill out there that they do that makes their kids, forces them to run and do some things. We get to the end, we come back. Okay, they will hop, and there's several other things. When we get done with that drill, never do we just stop. When we get the final part of that drill, the leaders know they're going to jog to the next drill before we'll take a rest. We don't take a rest and then we walk over to the next one. They get done, they run through, we're going to go over to the next drill, then they stop and then they rest. So the next drill we're going to get to is what we call pat and goes. What a pat and go is, which is the toughest drill we have within Colorado circuit. What it is Coach Haverty, come over here, stand about right there. It's going to be 8 cones, 5 yards apart, but they're going to be at a 45-degree angle. Here's a line, and there's a line. Stay there. So the cone's there, then there's a cone here. Now walk up right there. There's going to be 8 of them, just like this. And I'm going to tell you, it's the tough. If you go back and ask our kids, what is the toughest thing we do? I'm going to tell you. We got it from them when we got it from Colorado, and they were going around it, but they weren't getting down and doing things. So what I'm going to do, and you're the cone, okay? What I'm going to do is I tell them to go. So now we got here, we rested. Now what I do at the first, because what I'll do one day out of recruiting, the first day we're going to run as a football team, I do all the running. All 3 groups, I do the running. And I'll tell you why. I want to know what kind of shape we're in. Not that they can't do it, the strength coach and the coordinators can't do it better. I want to know because then I'm going to go on the road. I'm not going to know what my team's doing. I'm going to do the running. I'm going to be out there for the skill guys. I'm going to be out there for the stand-up guys. And I'm going to be out there for the big guys. Because I'll be honest with you, fellas, I'll tell you what's happened in college football. We're so busy raising money. We're so busy doing clinics. We're so busy doing all of it. We forgot the group that takes care of us. I mean, all of a sudden, we're going to wake up and we have spring ball. We have spring ball, and what's happened? Well, shoot, this team doesn't run. They're not as good a shape. They're not as strong as I thought. Well, whose fault's that? I mean, I can go ahead and blame the strength coach. I can blame the academic people because my kids aren't eligible. But the bottom line to it is, who's going to get fired? Not the strength coach, not the academic person. They're still at those places for years. The head coach and the assistants, they're gone. So you're going to have to make up your mind. You're going to have to make up your mind if you want to spend a little bit of effort. Again, 100,000 ways to skin a cat. Our way is I'm not going to leave that process. Okay, so we're going to get in pat and goes, and he's going to sprint. When he gets here, there's the cone. He's going to stay as tight the cone as he can. He does not want to, because this is what they'll do when they get tired. They're going to lean out, and they're going to try to do like this. I want them to break their hips down. They're going to come down here, they're going to get down, and they're going to pat their feet, and they're going to run their arms around it. And when he gets about to this cone, he's going to take that outside foot, and now he is going to burst, and he's going to right here. When he gets to this cone, he's doing the same thing, and he's going back around it. He's going to do it for 8 cones. Since I've been at TCU for 10 years, the most we've been able to do without me killing them is 4 down and backs. That's it. You go try it, come back and tell me, because anybody that's left with the drill and came back, if you make them do it, I can tell you right now. Because when they get down, I give them a rest. Because never in their life do they ever have to do this very much and burn their feet. So you want to talk about running yourself out of injury. You want to talk about getting yourself out of the trash so you don't get your knee hurt. You want to be able to run the football and get off a block when somebody's trying to cut you. It does it. Okay? I don't know how. Don't care. Okay? You know, and we have all newfangled ways now. You know, we got parachutes to make people faster. We've got all kinds of rubber bands. But the thing we're going to do from January and February, while I'm in charge of it, we're going to do it the old school way. Okay? And why? You know, I've had this comment because when I get in the summertime, our strength coach, he does other things. He incorporates some of the Colorado circuit, but that's his thing because I'm not part of it. Can't be. But in January and February, why do I do it? Because I need some consistency. Over the last 15 years of doing the Colorado circuit, I have a mental picture in my mind of what kind of team I have, what kind of condition we're in, and what kind of feet and hips we have so we can become better. If I change from that, I have a chance of missing something. And every one of you guys change things, but you have to have something in your program that's consistent that you can judge things off. Do it. Colorado circuit's it. So we have 2 lines of cones. Again, each group, when we go out, will be about 30, so they're going to be in 15 and 15. Okay? They're going to go down. They're going to come back. When we start them off, usually we only do 2 of them. Down and back, down and back. Again, when they get done, they get done. Sometimes if they do a great job, because here's the thing. Once you get a team that has good hips and feet and you watch them all do it and they get it done, then you quit doing it. It's not about conditioning. That's not what I'm trying to get done. I'm trying to get great hips and feet. So there's times, some years, that we'll only do Colorado circuit in January and February 1 time a week. When we came to TCU, we did it 3 times a week. Okay? And as we've gone year by year, depending on where we're older and what kind of players we have or who we have to grow up, depends on how many times we do it. The next drill we go to is what we call a back pedal drill. And what we do, if that line is a sideline, maybe some of you guys can't see it down there, but we're going to put cones again about 10 yards apart. And Coach Haverty was the first cone. The next cone is right here. It's going to be on a 45-degree angle if you'd move over, Coach Haverty. Again, we're going to have about 8 of them. Actually, I think there's 5. There's going to be 10 total, 5 on each side. And what we're going to do is, when we get to this, again, we jogged. Now we're working on also helping our kids stay away from injury. We're going to sprint to this cone. And actually, Coach Haverty, go stand right over there as a cone. There's going to be 5 people standing there because when they get to this cone, they're going to go into a back pedal. And they're going to get into a back pedal, and they're going to go here. And that guy, coach, is standing there. When I get close to him, he's going to say, go. And he's going to sprint me to the next cone. Now, I don't know how many of you guys do it, but how many times you ever do it? I was telling my coaches the other day, you know, we get mad because we do all the sprinting and doing things, and then we're upset because our DBs are sore. Well, you go out 2 practices a day and backpedal when you get in practices, but you didn't prepare for the practice. You did all this sprinting, you did all this running, you did all this going forward. You didn't do anything to make you better. So all of a sudden you're upset. Well, I've lost this safety in the morning because his groin's hurting him. And, you know, the other one's hamstrings tight. Well, you know what? Because they just 5 days, they just worked on something they didn't hardly work on all summer. They did a little bit when they did their 7-on-7 and 1-on-1 that they do on their own. They don't do it where they prepare themselves. So one of the things we started incorporating is we started putting a lot of that stuff into our workouts so that you're getting your kid prepared to do what he needs to do. And every position is different. And Donnie Summers, our strength coach, does a great job of getting in the summer, at the end of the summer, that he puts, there's some places they have a strength coach for every position. I think LSU's gone to, they got a strength coach for their defensive line. They got a strength coach for their DBs. So when they get to the end of summer, that's all they do is they do something specific that only makes them better, that prepares them for camp. So here you spend all year long to get ready for 12 ball games, and all of a sudden the guy's hurt. So I backpedal. We're going to go the length of these cones. We're going to come back. Then we're going to go, if you would, Coach Haverty, we're going to go to what we call figure eights, and we're going to incorporate the pat and goes again. This time we're going to do it out of a sprint, and it's going to be longer. There are going to be 2 cones with guys standing here. We're going to sprint. We're going to do figure eights. Again, we get here, and we time this out. Guys that really lean and they take wide steps, or the guys that pat their feet when they kind of get around, they try to take control, and then they're going to drive themselves out of it. They're going to come back. Going to go around. We have competitions with it. I heard Coach Francione earlier talking about competitions in practice, and we do the same thing. You got to have competitions also. You have to have competitions also in your off-season program to make them compete and see if they get better. Then we're going to go to, everybody's done it, squares that are 5-yard squares, how we do things, and we're going to line things up, and they're going to go around from a sprint. So when I start, they're going to sprint. And then they're going to karaoke. Again, we're going to teach it about being slow, about how they do things. We're going to go into a form back pedal. And then when they come across, again, because I want to work the inside of the legs, I don't want them to hop. I want it to be a basketball shuffle. We want them to stay low. We want to work the inside of the legs. We want to do something that's going to make a difference. Then what we end up the last of the day is what we call jingle jangles. And that's a 5 and back, a 10 and back, and then they sprint through 20. Okay? And the key to that whole drill is again, listening. Because what we're going to tell them is, you're only going to touch with your left hand. So they're going to sprint, and every turn they make, they're going to be with their left hand. If one guy touches with his right, we're going back. Because here's the whole thing. What has happened by the end of the period? They're tired. So what's happening at the end of the period? That's when you need to start teaching them to learn how to think when they're tired. That's when you start communicating with them more. You start talking to them. So now we're going to tell them left hand. They're going to do it. We're going to tell right hand. We tell them you got to sprint through the line. The guy takes one step and he doesn't finish through the line. Then we go back and do it again. Little things. You done being a cone? Come on. Coach Haverty, he may not want to be a frog very long. Did you ever get it to work? Perfect. We can run it through it quick now. See, now I'm going to have to go take a shower. That's a lot of work for me. We're just going to let it run, and I'm going to use my video. We'll get you guys real quick here, if it goes. Okay, here's the bags. We're just running through. Watch the space in between. We want to make sure that we get a sprint. You notice how we're also looking for them to pick their knees up and see how they have to settle when they get through. Right before they get to it, we want to see. One of the problems you have with a guy out of control, his legs are going to come out like this when he runs through the bags, when he gets to the next set. You want to see him slow down, sink their hips, and drive their knees up. I wish I could say all of these guys were players. Uh-oh, we lost again, huh? Ran so fast we broke the machine. Coming back. Go on ahead and go to the next drill. I think what it does is it loses a little bit. There you go. Now here, we're hopping through. It's another, just depending on the day. And here we're not trying to get for height. We're trying to work on quickness with our feet here. Again, as soon as they hit the last bag, we want to be sprinting out. We do not want to jog between. Get there. The other thing you're looking for is see if they let one foot or the other foot come down. Sometimes when they do that, there's a dominant leg. That means the other got a chance to get hurt. You got to make sure that you take care of those things. Again, you see Coach Bumpus, our defensive coordinator, is out running with the GA. It's not a strength coach. Fellas, now don't get me wrong. It's not that I have anything against strength coaches, but I like them being down there making sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. Lifting, make sure they get better. Here we're doing a crossover. You can see once they get out of the bags, you want to see them sprint. Obviously, there's some guys there that aren't. They probably don't play for us. This is early in the season. Again, we're coming back. You can see people holding numbers. You see the coach here holding a number up, making sure they have to talk, they have to communicate. Trying to get yourself, this is the skill group right here. Now we're 2 feet in. Again, we're going to sprint. Usually when you start off the spring semester, by the time they get out of the bags, before they even get to pat and goes, they're already tired. Go ahead and run it to the next one. See if we get the power zigzag. Stop one. Here we go. You notice we're looking for guys going up quick. You can see here, we want to slow. We want to see the arms banging. See, look at the arms go fast. Drive them. The other thing we're trying to do is we're still giving a number as we do things. Go ahead. Okay, watch it. Look how fast we want to see the arms react with the legs. Again, the same thing when you come out of a break as a defensive back or a wide receiver, a defensive lineman coming off a start. Everything's going to be flat. See, I don't like this right here. His shoulder's going out, up and back. Go ahead and go to the next one. Get these guys through here. See if you can get to pat and goes where we're doing it. Here's one of the things we do as we ski. Again, it's working on hips. We're trying to touch the outside bags and how quick you can do it. Keep your feet together. We're really working on trying to go side to side with them. You can see some guys that do a great job with it, some don't. This is doing a great job. Kid coming back. They don't mess up. They go back to the line. I don't think there's any time that you don't have discipline in what you do, fellas. I don't think that you micromanage people, but I do believe that there has to be an understanding what quality is and what you're trying to reach for. Here's pat and goes. Watch him pat him around. Watch him burst out. Again, here, he's not working too hard at it. Marvin White just signed, the guy in the front of the line just signed with the Bengals. Safety. He's going to have a chance to have a great career with it. And you'll watch him as he goes through things right here. His junior year, he walked in my office and said, "Coach, how can I be one of the best safeties in the country?" I said, "Marvin, you're going to have to become a better man player. Not your hips. You can hit people in the mouth." And what he did for the whole, when he get done with this, he'd go out and work on his open steps and doing things to work on his hips that make him himself even better. See if you can get that and come back. There you go. It's a good step. You can see how they're trying to move their feet and they're trying to get down. Really, again, we're looking for that first step coming out. We're looking to see if they'll burst. We're looking to see if they'll try to come out when they get tired. Looks like a drill that doesn't make much difference to anything. All you got to do is ask the 125 kids every year at our place what it was about. They'll tell you. Go ahead and go to the next one. This is the same group doing the same thing. Not trying to bore you, not wanting to keep you too long. Got a couple minutes. Okay, yeah, we're still going. See, I must have been bad that day. Here you can see the back pedal. We're going to be controlled. Then we want to drive forward and we want to sprint. There's a coach there telling them to go. Again, we're trying to see you ride the bike, trying to see our legs drive out, trying to move our arms. We're trying to teach people. One of the things that always amazes me, watching kids run through the bags for the first time, they let their arms hang. They don't run their arms. Again, we went through the bags, we went through pat and goes, and now we're to this, and we see how he's starting to stand up. When we're starting corners, guys, you can about pick out who the guys that can really do it. Sometimes I watch this and wonder how we won any games. Let's go on to the next one. They'll go down and back, so you'll have to go quick. I want to give you guys a chance for questions. As far as anybody out there real close, well, he's getting to the next drill. Is there any questions about this or anything that we talked about? That being too yelling across the room? Good. That either means I was bored or I answered everything. So I was boring and doing it. Either way, this time of year, as you guys know, we're all getting ready so we can get started. Should get to circle 8s. Just to show you how far back this is where our new practice facility was. The field's been down. Now we have a building over the top of it. You missed some of the other one, just go ahead. They're all going to be the same. Take us forever to get through these things. Just run it real fast. If we miss one of them, it'll be fine. Just going back through things because we're about at the end of the time. Number one, I just want to make sure that, again, I let you know how much we appreciate everything that you've ever done for us. Be able to have you guys here in Fort Worth and be a part of what we do, I think it's important because you can see how we're trying to make things better, especially for your kids, if your kids decide they want to come to TCU. And also what we're trying to give back to the Texas high school coaches and also to the state of Texas. I think, the old saying about you just want to leave somewhere better than it was when you got there. And one of the things that we're trying to do as a staff, and hopefully I've showed the loyalty to TCU and Fort Worth about staying here at TCU. I don't think people understand what kind of job it is and what kind of people live here. And I can promise you this, if your kids come to TCU, they're going to be coached hard, but they're going to be treated right. And we're going to try to, in 5 years, to turn them out people who have a chance to be successful in life. You ever get, here you go. Okay, we got figure 8s. Again, we're trying to do the pat and go. We're trying to learn how to, again, we're trying to find ways to sprint, change direction, and do things. We do mat drills. We do all kinds of things where we get people down. But again, what Colorado Circuit's all about, it's all about in short periods of time. You haven't seen us run very long distance at all. Everything's about feet, working your arms, driving your arms, coming out and working your hips, being able to sink down, move those feet around the cone. Let's run it clear forward to the jingle jangles. 5 and back, 10 and back, and doing things. Still, any questions about anything? What Coach Haverty is going to do, if it's okay with you guys, I'm just going to have him, when we get done here, I'm just going to have him come out here, just take a chair here and sit on the side. If you guys would like to write down, all you need to tell him is you'd like a copy of our pyramid, or you would like a copy of our personnel deal that we do on Friday, our sheet where we actually, goals of the kids, this one right here, goals of the kids, how the coaches, and we try to come on the same page as far as what they think and what we think. And they do that by position groups. Okay, we got the jingle jangles here. Again, we're going to do 5 and back, 10 and back. Again, it's going to be the same hand. We want them to touch the line. Oh, here's still 8-man. It's still going. It's not it yet. You're still in the figure 8s. But if anything we can do this afternoon, our coaches, we're going to be over. Like everybody, we come into camp tomorrow. We move in. What we do is we come in. We don't do much. With the freshmen being here all day now, it's more of an administration day as far as the NCAA forms, making sure we're compliant.